today.
Boom, welcome.
Welcome,
In
you
your own
welcome in my
house.
studio. How you doing?
Good man, good to be here.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
What's up,
What's
Mr.
good?
Lavito? Thanks for making the time today in your busy schedule.
Yes, you are thankful for being here, brother.
Yeah, man.
Because we are doing this in English, right?
Exactly.
But before we continue in English, even in het Gents.
Het Ghent.
Gentse Rap Aflevering 20, MC Bal,
We are Gentenaars.
Lavito. Voor al de mensen die Nederlands spreken, wij spreken het in Engels. Om de mensen die in het Engels spreken, dat ze het kunnen verstaan.
Because your crowd, you're so international that maybe the majority, I'm exaggerating.
It's just
You're
true.
so international.
It's just true that a lot of people that listen to my music speak English.
Yeah.
And therefore, yeah, if you have translations, that's true. But
Why not English? Because
I
everyone
think
speaks
it's
English.
interesting, and also that for you right now together, you have been doing all these great interviews. I really enjoy watching your interviews. I was like, this one, let's do it. You know, like do
Yeah.
something crazy and
Let's do it right.
let's talk about what's going on. You know, like.
The crazy shit. Because you had quite a ride the last few years, eh?
Oh man, oh
Oh
man.
man.
Things are changing really quick
Jesus.
nowadays. It's just.
How long have you been a producer?
How long have I been a producer? I've been a producer now full time. If
Yeah.
you talk about, you know, like job wise,
Yeah.
I guess 4 years.
Okay.
But before, of course, I started already at a younger age with music.
Yeah.
But it is 4 years now since I've quit my daily job.
Damn, your day
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, the day
So-
job is gone.
So 4 years, and how's those 4 years evolved for you?
Well, it's like, for example, when I started my job, you know,
Yeah.
I was working at a bank, legal advisor, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Realizing that I have to go for the music. So what happened is that I was in contact with people in New York,
Yeah.
and in 2019,
Yeah.
I decided to quit my job, and 2 weeks later, I was already in New
Boom.
York, just like, okay, it has to go now, and this is the moment. So
Yeah.
that was a start.
Yeah.
Going to New York, realizing the industry,
Yeah.
how things are going, and
Yeah.
from I was there, I was like, yes,
Nice.
I see something now.
How was the build up to that moment? Because of course you don't just jump out of nowhere, and New York happened in some way. So how did that happen? Like that jump?
Oh, good question.
Mm.
Damn, ball, good question. I like it when you come with those questions, you know, like I was already busy with music during my job. I've been, you know, I was playing piano as a kid, then the drums came in, then I started producing, and when I was producing, I already realized that I wanted to make my job of this, but I had no idea how. So I knew one thing, and is that when you want to become independent and you want to be a successful man, you want to make things in life, you need money. You gotta invest to make it, right? So
Yeah.
people always know like that they don't know like you have to invest and put in money to get things. So I was like, okay, I need to get my job, get a wage, get a pay,
Yeah.
save some, and from the moment I realized like, okay, I could literally just live off this for a few months. I was like, I have to do this. But
Yeah.
it took some while. You know, like people around you are not into the story of, yo, I'm gonna quit my job,
Yeah. And become
skip
a
this whole
producer.
thing and become a full-time producer.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, you know, security, save wise.
Exactly.
You should choose safe, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you got the car, you got
Yeah.
this, you got that, you got everything. And I call it the golden cage. I wanted to escape the golden cage.
Like everyone loves the story, I think. Like, oh yeah, he became an independent producer, but like doing it is another thing, eh?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. But that's the thing, doing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
jumping.
Exactly.
Because I jumped and I had no idea where I was going. I was just like, I want to jump, I want to do this. There's no way back. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I guess I'll just have to find another job. But that's the first step, is that
Exactly.
jumping into the wild.
And I wonder, because a lot of people think about jumping. What do you think, like, makes you different from a lot of people that have the same dream and the same projects, that you jump and that you do it, and that others maybe don't? What is that?
Yeah, it's just that little more hungerness, like the hunger for having that goal,
Yeah.
for achieving your goal. And my goal was to become an independent artist, producer, and just live off music and be around people who are with music and the culture and travel.
Yeah.
And I just visualized that in front of me many times.
Yeah.
And I was like dreaming of this as a kid.
Yeah.
But again, if the people around you, like everybody believed in me, I'm not gonna, you know, like my family believed in me, friends believed in me. But believing in you is cool, but you gotta believe in you. Because from the moment you believe in yourself and you know what you want to do, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Like there it all comes from. And of course you have people who believe in themselves, but if you really believe in yourself and you bet on yourself, you trust in the process, and you will say like, okay, it will be fine because I know I can handle this.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. And of course sometimes you need some confirmations from people who say like, yo, your raps, MC Ball are dope, or the beat you made there is cool, and that's nice, and it's love. But again, it's action. Action will make the difference.
Yeah. And what I hear you say maybe is like you don't have to have everything planned or all the answers or this is how it's gonna go. It's more like the trust, like it's gonna work out, and you go and then you develop it.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you have a 9-to-5 job, right? You work like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which means 8 hours working for somebody else. Okay, you have a wage in the end of the month, which is interesting. But also you have to drive to your job. You have to come home. You have to prepare food, which makes like 10 hours a day that you're not focusing on a goal. Like that's what I was saying. Like you create opportunities for yourself when you choose for yourself. Because now those 10 hours, I'm just in the studio. I'm just thinking like I want to do this, I have to do that, boom, 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 which makes the goal. You know, you achieve your goal way more faster. You achieve your steps way more faster if you can full-time go for it. I truly believe if you have a goal, like if you want to be a football player, if you want to be the best rapper, if you want to be the whatever, you got to do it full-time. You cannot say, oh, no, I'm just going to combine with a job. Yeah, maybe. But in the end, no.
Yeah, if you put in the hours. But I also wonder, like, because you're a producer, but you're also, in a way, a businessman, right?
True.
That's also an important part of it. Like
different hats, like you're wearing your hat of MC Ball.
Yeah, how do you balance those? Or
like what I've seen, a lot of artists are totally no businessmen, and that's okay. You know, like you're not supposed to be everything.
Yeah.
But in the industry, you need to know some stuff about business. And for me, coming from a background with you know, like I studied university, I did law degree, I did have some business involvements
you
already.
Worked in a bank, so
I worked in a bank. I had some clients, you know, service stuff going on. I had to talk in different languages. You learn from that. It's just that you need both in the industry. Yes, you need great music, but even more important, you gotta get your music to the people.
Yeah.
You gotta make it, you know, like people gotta know you. You gotta brand yourself. So when I look nowadays, when you are independent, you just gotta be a videographer, you gotta be a producer, you gotta be an artist, you gotta edit your videos, you gotta time yourself, you got time management. So you're so many things right now. Exactly. And I can understand that some people think that's hard or heavy, but at the same time, that's what it takes. If you can do all those things and you can just push it constantly, at a certain point you can start saying, okay, you want to do this, you want to do my video, you want to do this, you want that, because you got some money, so you can pay people or time, or you can make win-win situation.
That's that investing thing again. It's not just if you want to start, but if you want to grow, you have to invest to not do certain things, so you can focus even more on the
the focus. Like the word focus, it says it. It's like you gotta look at one point and focus on that one, and not just do all the other stuff.
Yeah. Like when you started 4 years ago, what was your focus then? Like what were you thinking?
My focus, which is not my focus now, back then was like, cause I was making beats, right? And I was making maybe three beats per week, 4 beats per week. And I remember when I started, I was like, I want to make a beat per day, at least one. I want to create volume, and my focus was like catalog, you know, like I want to make as much beats and genres as I can, so when I have artists around me, I can provide their genre. That was the main goal first.
Okay.
That's where it started. Catalog.
Yeah.
I was making beat tapes already. I was just the beats. And yeah, that's the first thing. But if you look at my focus now, it's more like tracks.
Yeah.
You know, because when you release beats, you're actually, the person you're making it for is usually like, okay, it's for the listener and for yourself, but it's also for the artist. I'll be like, who are you doing this for? But if you look at tracks, you're not just making it for the artist and yourself, but you're making it for the listener too, right? So it's more like an end product for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't like to use the word product that much in music, but it's like tracks for me. It's just, I think it had to go that way.
Okay. How did that evolve, or why did it evolve like that?
One of the things that changed in me was like, I used to sing as a kid. I used to sing musicals. I did Oliver Twist. I did Romeo and Juliet stuff. I mean, I did some little things. And Oliver Twist, I was really Oliver, by the way. I was like the main character singing. So the singing experience was insane.
Yeah.
And I always knew like I love singing. But the thing is, let's say it like this, singing is my, like producing is a hobby and singing is my passion.
Okay.
And I realized like, bro, it's coming out there.
Yeah.
And I saw this documentary from Kanye West.
Mm.
And once in that documentary, he says beat making is like an internship. Like producing is total different thing.
Yeah.
And it's true, because making beats on your computer is just, it's you can have samples.
Yeah.
And then what? Because that's just the easy step.
Mm.
What's the next step? You know, like, what are you gonna do? Who's the artist? Are you gonna
Yeah.
sing on it? You got somebody on this? Or are there no artists coming on? Then this song has to stand on itself, because that's also possible. You know, like EDM music, there's not always lyrics in there, or other stuff, other genres, DMB.
Yeah, so it's more like you get the end responsibility of what's going to hit the listener. It's not just you make the first, like, a beat is like blocks, right? Building blocks, and then someone turns it into a
exactly,
song.
because, you know, I love for example, the BeatStars community. I love BeatStars, you know, it's very interesting. You can make beats on there, you can do collab, you know, like, for example, what I really loved about that platform is that when I started, I could make a beat with someone in Canada, put it online, and we could just, when it got sold, each one got its split automatically. Interesting. But then who the hell bought my beat? Who is this person? Person X from I don't know where.
Yeah.
And then what is he gonna do on that song? And it's your name, right? So I started thinking like, okay, I have beat sales, very interesting. But everybody can just buy my beats and just rap on it, you know? Even can just put farts on it and put it on Spotify, for example. So that's where I started changing, like, okay, I'm still uploading on BeatStars, but not that much anymore.
Yeah.
Just some beats.
Because you want more control over the end thing?
Control, it's more like the brand, you know, like, it's branding also. Like, my quality beats now, I really prefer now being with an artist in the studio and make that custom beat for the artist with his ears or her ears and see what happens. But of course, every now and then, I'm still, you know, I still love making beats. So if when I've made a beat, I just put it online. And for example, like, recently I made a beat, I was like, I don't know, who should rap on this? BeatStars. You never know. That's interesting. But the goal now is for me making a type of songs that I want to heal people with, you know, like, in a way, like, make them smile, make them happy.
Yeah.
Even when it's dark music, you know, dark beats can make people happy, and light beats can make people sad. So that's what I really am on right now.
So you're making your own music as well, like Lavito music, not just making music with other artists?
Exactly. So where did it come from? Like, I already told you I love singing. I used to sing. And recently, I was just singing more. Like, you know, you have times where you produce a lot of things. Yeah. And I realized, like, I was really writing lyrics on my phone, just singing on other producers' beats.
Yeah. I remember when we make tracks, that often you'll start, like, singing a certain melody. You just choose some words, but you sing some kind of melody, and often I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice.
No, it's true.
There's a few of my melodies in the songs that you sang and that I copied.
It's true, bro. Yeah. Like, when I'm in the studio, very often with an artist, I just like singing to give some melody vibes that I hear in my head. Yeah. And sometimes it's so crazy that I already hear a whole chorus phrase in my head. Yeah. That I'm like, if I would go in the booth now and record, I would just sing the whole thing like that. Yeah, exactly. Very often when the artist does his thing or her thing, like, it's nice, it's cool, but it's not completely me. Yeah. And that's where it started, like, okay, I need to do my own shit. Yeah. Because I feel like I don't want to involve, and I mean, I don't want to.
You don't want to tell
disturb
them what
to
do,
that person's process, because he has or she has his own creativity. But then I was like, I gotta make my own songs. And I already had a lot of productions actually during the years, things that I just put in a file that I like. So I went back in those files, even files from like 6-7 years ago. Melodies that was like, damn, things that touch, you know, like, I love music that has emotion when you listen and you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean, right? Like, you listen to a song and you're like, okay.
Even after a while, like, you hear it again and it hits you again and again.
Yeah. Like one of the songs from Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing. Everybody knows that. Ooh, baby, 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 I got something I want you. Like, the reason why it's so good is because you feel his pain, and also the reason why he wrote this song is because he broke up with a girl, right? And he had an apartment, and a friend came over who didn't hear from him like 3 weeks, a month, who was worried. Friend comes over, finds Marvin Gaye just on a mattress in his living room with some drugs and drinks around him, and just lyrics and writing on it. Whoa. And the guy's like, bro, you need some sexual healing, bro. And he was like,
that's it.
It's true.
It's true.
Wrote it up, start it up, boom, wrap it up. You listen to it and like, boom, that's it. Sexual healing.
That brings us to the next thing. Instead of going for sexual healing, he then wrote the song Sexual Healing, because I was going to ask, what is better, sex or music?
Good question. Music.
Yeah, why? What?
Yeah,
Explain
I mean,
this.
we all love sex. It's just, sex, it stops. Like, at a certain moment, yeah, you have sex and it stops. But music is like, you can extend it. I mean, of course, you can extend sex too. But the thing is, when it comes to music, for me, it's the creative process. Music is kind of like sex sometimes. Like, you can
Well,
listen to music and
In
it's
the
like,
chakras, it's the same. It's the orange chakra, where sexuality and creativity are in the same chakra.
is that?
Yeah, so
The
it's
orange?
kind of, the orange, the second one, from the bottom up.
Okay. We are
Throat
learning.
chakra, exactly. So it's the same source, but you don't maybe have the. It's not like if you orgasm creatively, you can go again. You can keep going and it gets better and better and
Damn,
better.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
you don't have like the
Wow.
ejaculation and like.
Cheers to
Maybe
that.
that's well,
That's
there we
true.
go.
That's true. Wow, I didn't even. Yeah, cool. So that's why it's so nice to make music.
Exactly.
Again. Like the feeding orgasm. I like the way you said that.
What were the things that made a big difference for you in the process when you started 4 years ago and now? Because you've really exploded, and of course, tell me about exactly how you exploded and how much, what that it means. But how did that happen? How does that work?
So, like coming from that beat making background, I
Yeah.
just focus I wanted to focus on tracks. And in 2022, I met this great guy, God Mode. He's from Holland. He's a rapper. He raps in English. And the moment I met him, when we were in the studio the first time, I will never forget. Because I'm used to artists that, you vibe a little. And then he's like, okay, make a beat and I'll start writing some stuff. That was totally not the case with God Mode. God Mode came in my room, in my studio, my house. And not even 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes later, we almost had a full track. Because I was like, he came in, he's like, you have any other beats? I'm like, yeah, I can make something quick. I just did like kick, snare, hi-hats, melody, no basses, no nothing, just a vibe. He's like, okay, let's go. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, let's go. And he started recording and the lyrics were just like coming out and I was like, what the fuck is this? This would take usually like 2 hours, 3 hours. And he was like, oh, chorus, verse. And I was like, what's this? He's like, yeah, I freestyle, but I write it in my head. Kind of like Jay-Z kind of stuff. So that changed for me because that was the moment I realized that things got to change in my life in the way of with artists. Because a lot of artists, I enjoyed working with them. When I was at God Mode, I was like, okay, I can make 10 tracks in a day.
Jesus.
And just continue. Of course, it's not completely mixed and all that stuff. That's true. But it's the creative
the
process.
drops,
Like,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom. You're like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I never met anyone who was like me. Like, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Because that would be your process if you didn't have to follow the artist.
Yeah.
You would go.
I would just like create the tracks. Another one, you just
Yeah.
make as much songs as you can together to consistently push that vibe.
Yeah.
And then after, you can listen to the stuff and say, okay, this one, yeah, no.
Then
Change
you could
the
select.
Yeah, select, mix.
Again, volume and then
And
select.
it's just like respecting the process. Like you start to create. Like as you're in the kitchen as a cook, you just get your ingredients first, and then from that you can go to the next. But the thing is, like if you would go to a store and you go with God Mode, it would be like this, hoop, hit, down, boom, paf.
Yeah,
Go,
always
down,
like that.
let's go, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, not always like that, but that's just the way that makes things happen. The action in there, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's also because like
and also not overthinking or something.
Exactly.
Because that often happens in creativity, right?
Exactly.
Like,
Just feel it and do
Yeah.
it. If you feel it, do it.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I feel it. Maybe yes, no. No. If you feel it, do it. If you don't feel it, don't do it. Because then there's no feeling in there.
Yeah.
Imagine like 2022. I think I made over 20, 30 tracks. More with God Mode, only him. And every time I made a song with him, every song was like, it's getting better. Just the cohesion in between him and me was getting better. And at a certain point, God Mode tells me, we were in the studio, right? And we were working on this song. And I was again, like you say, singing some stuff on it. And he's like, bro, you should record this. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I like this. Record it. I was like, you sure? And the lyrics were like, been counting days, I waste my time. The crowd plays, I'm on my grind. The song is called Affirmative. Sorry for my voice, but again, bro, he told me like record it. And when I recorded and I sent him the mix and stuff, he was like, yeah, bro. And
Nice.
that's where it started for me again to record my own stuff. And the next
That was
day
like
I was
the
recording.
catalyst.
Yeah, I was like, bro, yeah, he just told me that, why not? So now I'm like, every song I'm making, I'm feeling more confident.
Yeah.
I'm not caring that much anymore about what people think. If you don't like it.
Because what's the difference for you between making music with other or for other artists and making your own music? Like the process or the...
Like, it feels more complete, you know, like it's completely you.
But also more difficult maybe, because you have to decide, or you have to decide that it's good enough.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say more difficult, it's just different. Like, it's a different way of making decisions, because you're responsible for the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, when it comes to lyrics, for example, I'm not the freestyler like God mode. I mean, everybody has his way.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like, I usually start with a chorus, like a melody that I really like to hear on it, and I just start filling the words, and from there I go on. But that's for me a different process than with an artist. But again, so one of the songs that I'm now working on, it's called Wasting My Time, and it's just came so organically that I had no second of thinking in that process, which is like, I want to make a song that sounds more like summertime for this summer. I'm not going to say too much, but when you hear it, you will see. And that went so organically that 2 days later I listened to it like, yeah, it's ready.
Nice.
Just, of course, mixing-wise, there were a few things that I had to do, but I was like...
The bulk is ready.
That's
like
it.
The main idea.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you feel that confident feeling. And I don't have that always with other artists, when I make songs with other artists. I'm like, yeah.
That's it.
No, it stands there. Put it out.
Yeah. For me, I notice some songs are like that, and others is more like a struggle. And then it's still good, you know. Doesn't necessarily mean that those are all better, the organic ones, but it's nice though if it flows like that.
Yeah, like it's when it all comes again from that initial energy. Like if you got this initial good energy on the song, more than good, like very like, this is good. Everything that comes from that feeling will be better, even if the keys are wrong, even if the 808 is out of key, you know, or the hi-hats are too slow. It comes from that feeling. But when you don't have that initial feeling and you start making music, it will just be like a forced thing.
Yeah.
And then it's forced, and the force will always remain forever.
And then you feel
and
that.
You hear and you feel it, and that's not the way.
I think music is typically the place where you, like you say, you feel the energy that was making the song, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why, for example, I had a few artists I worked with that were in the studio, and they told me like, I feel this completely, and then at the end of the time when we were working, they were like, I don't feel it anymore. And I was like, you know, it's part of the game, but then again, they should honor their feelings from the first start, the first second, when they're in the studio, and they're like, do I really feel this, or am I forcing myself? Because everything forced will not work.
Yeah, you're big on gut feeling, aren't you?
Yeah, man. Gut feeling. Like there's a few things, like 3 things in life that for me are really important. It's like gut feeling, love, and don't force things. Don't force people. Don't force situations. Love things. Enjoy things. Little things. And the guts, you know, if it's guts, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I truly believe in a sort of chemistry and things, like situations with people in a room or in the music or in the chat room or in the call. There's always this thing. You know, like the vibe. That defines everything. Yeah. Like, I once read this book and it's called Biology, but with a B-U-Y. Very interesting book, because actually it was from my dad, my father, and he was like, yeah, maybe you should read this. I was like, okay, I start reading. And one of the things in there, they're like talking about the vibe in between people when they start communicating. The first 10 seconds, right? In those first 10 seconds, it's all about how you say things. Not what are you saying, but how you're saying it. Because the way you're saying things defines way much more than what are you saying, you know. It all comes also to respect and to listening, you know, like we are talking, we're listening to each other. There's body language, there's content in our phrases. Yeah. We're legitimately here talking to each other about a certain subject. But imagine that would be like, on my phone, or like, I mean, those little things, like the phone thing, come on, bro. Lately I've been annoyed by this phone, you know, because if it's like the business, like you say, it's going great, streams are going up, it's amazing. The only thing what I sometimes have is that I need to have phoneless days, for example on Sundays, or I just don't want to have my phone, because sometimes it's just, you know, you open the phone, you're like, again, before you know you're on your phone. So when you're in a conversation, or you're in a restaurant, or you're in the car with friends, or even in the studio, you start going on your phone.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I see people do this a lot of times.
Yeah.
To the phone, like they go to their phones. Like, oh, my phone.
It's funny what you say about like the vibe, you feel it between people, and also what we were saying in the music.
Yeah.
Like even the words don't even really matter anymore sometimes in the text. It's all about what are you transmitting.
Yeah, the words do matter, but it's just like, what's the feeling?
Yeah,
You know,
what's the feeling right with the words or something like
yeah,
that.
it's like the message in general in that song. You know, like it can be one word and a whole message. Or there can be 1,000 words and no message. It's just, like you say, it's for me that's really important. The warmth in a song, even if it's a cold ass dark beat, it can still be warmth in there. You can be like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So something completely different.
Yeah.
Like in 4 years, how did you build that to be at the point where you're at now? What are things that you could tell other producers, like this is how you grow that business, or these are things you should or shouldn't
steps,
do?
moves for business. Yeah, okay. Producing artists, like it's not a complete process of steps, you know. It's more like a mindset thing.
Okay.
It's like, how are you in your mind? And for me, and I love this quote. It's from Denzel Washington. He said, "Without commitment, there's no start, and without consistency, there's no end." Commitment and consistency. Boom. For me, that's everything. When you can be committed to your goal, meaning you want to be a producer, alright, how many beats are you making? Are you producing? Are you sending out beats to people? Are you connecting with them? No, bro, I just want to smoke a joint, make a beat, and then just play FIFA. Same for artists. You want to record songs, alright, but if you're just constantly on your phone recording, you're like, yeah, I got a song, listen to my song. Well, are you going to the studio? Are you going to work with a producer? Are you going to talk to, promoters, labels?
Yeah. So it's also going out there, pushing
it's just more than just waiting, like you gotta do shit. You gotta make moves. So that's for me the biggest thing already. Like, that's the mindset behind things. Because, you want to get the bag, you want to make money and all that stuff. But if you chase the bag in a way that you're only focused on money, it will not work. You gotta focus on a great product with great people. Those are things that I've learned. Like, when I stopped my job at the bank, I had this chance to become part of this group of young starters, entrepreneurs. Everybody had his own kind of business. Somebody had a baking web shop. The other guy had a tattoo thing. I had my music. There were so many different things going on. And the person who was guiding us was a woman, and she was working for Mercedes-Benz. And she told us immediately, like, okay, put your numbers on the table. Like, how much are you making? What is your process? And the thing I learned there was that she said, like, you need to have a plan, a business plan. You need to know where you want to go. How do you see yourself in the future? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? What's your budget, What's your unique selling points, USP? Like, what makes you different than the other ones? Why are your tattoos better than this guy or different? Why are your cookies better? Why are your beats or your songs different?
So financially you need to have a plan. And then content-wise,
it goes together, if you don't know what content you're gonna make, you don't know what finances you're gonna do. Like, a bread is €3 dollars. That's a whole other different thing than if you go to a garage and fix your car, you pay 500.
Like what you say, the BeatStars business is a different business plan than making beats with artists, because that's.
I'm not saying it's different. It's just it can be simultaneous.
Like financially, it's a different kind of.
Yeah,
vibe,
that's true.
Right?
That's true.
You put it on the platform and hopefully it sells. Even the marketing is
hopefully it sells. That sucks.
Yeah.
If you do that, you will never sell. You cannot hope.
How do you make sure it sells?
If you want to make sure it sells, you gotta supply and demand. This artist is looking for R&B beats, 150 BPM. In C minor. Don't send him beats at 100 BPM in D major. That's the way. Connect people with what they want. So how do you find these people? Networking, looking around, listening to people's music. You gotta be out there. And then when you find people who say, like, I want this kind of music, you just give them. It's a win-win, I like making that music for you. You're looking for this kind of music. Let's go. But it's also very fatiguing. Sometimes it makes you tired, so that's why I'm also making my own songs, because I like working with artists, but sometimes I don't give a shit about what you want. I'm sorry. You got your own lane going on. I got a catalog of beats. Go in there. I have playlists, R&B, hip-hop, this, that.
Because you want to keep your own style.
Like, I respect people, but if I don't feel the respect, I will not be disrespectful to them, but I will just say, like, you got a store. But for this, at the same time, when I work with someone and I make a custom beat for that person, I always say to them like, choose an extra beat from my store because I have so many beats. I want them to make more music, you know, because in the end of the day, you want to volume, you want to create and release as much as you can.
Yeah.
So,
Tell me about that, about releasing, because the old way was work 2 years on an album and release, and a lot of people still do that.
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
I mean, albums, they are still working, but if you release an album and you have no following and no shit going on, it's stupid. Because you waste all your time in one momentum. While you could spread your 7 or 10 tracks into a whole year and release every month a track. Because you get that attention again. So nowadays everything is about short attention and quick and this and that. But I think that will change though.
Yeah.
It's only because TikTok came in and Reels came in and this new generation wants the attention constantly. But in the end of the day, that will not last.
Yeah, because the good music is gonna stay in the end, right?
That's why I love music that is like timeless. That you could play in 10 years and still say, wow.
Yeah.
It's not from that era or that era.
But maybe it will grow slower. But also there's a lot more music coming out. So how do you even make sure that it doesn't just disappear in the...
You gotta promote yourself. The 20-80 rule, you know, we used to talk about this. Like 20% is production and 80% is marketing, promo. A lot of people make the mistake. I did it too. When I started, I was just constantly making beats and producing. And that's nice, but that's like as if you're in a kitchen and you're making all these tracks. I mean, plates.
Yeah.
And you're just letting them in the kitchen. You know, you gotta bring your plates in the restaurant. You gotta make people eat.
Yeah.
How you get people in your restaurant? You know, by putting out the menu outside and by putting guys outside and like, hey, come here, dude. Yeah. Like we got Italian, whatever, Spanish.
So success is like time for the artist and time for the businessman.
Yeah.
And find the right balance.
Yeah, balance. Or find someone who does the business for you, you know? Like, I work with a team now. I'm not just doing this by myself. You know, I work with a manager and I have mixing engineers stuff going on, you know, people do the video clips.
Yeah.
It's just, and that grows, but it started from me. But right now, I have a manager. And that's why I'm also going to the United States, because he's from there. And the whole team is there, and then that's...
How do you keep on growing as a producer, as an artist?
How do you keep on growing as a producer and artist? Very simple. My motto is keep it going. Just push, don't stop.
Yeah.
Winners never quit, quitters never win.
How do you... Because you can also say, I'll keep on making the same thing and do that even better, or how do you keep on learning new techniques, or how do you...
For example, this is when they had an interview of... Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. There was an interview and they asked him like, how do you keep going? What drives you to just evolve and learn and grow? And their answer was passion. Both. They said, because we're passionate about our craft. Which is the same for me. I'm passionate about music. So if you don't got that passion already, that's, you know. So it comes from passion, and when you got the passion, okay, then you just gotta keep on just creating what you like. Don't listen too much to what other people want. At the same time, when you have a fan or fans, listen to them. You know, like listen to what they like. Cause
that's a delicate balance, eh? Like you want to listen to the feedback, but you also want to keep on making your thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Like your own sound is very important nowadays. Everybody sounds the same. So if you got your own touch, build on that. Build on what you are, what makes you different. I was almost going to refer to Michael Jordan, but it's maybe a big one. But Michael Jordan, the reason why he was so good is because he scored in a game and the next morning he was already back on training. Just doing the same thing. Like three pointers. Like, okay, I'm really good at this, but the 10,000 hours rule, for example, bro, that's so interesting. I truly believe that I only achieved that like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I, you know, became full-time producer around that period. Only then I realized like, okay, I've done the 10,000 hours. I'm really mastering my craft.
Exactly.
I know what I want to hear. I know what's quality. I know who's in the game, all that stuff. And that's what I mean with, if you say how you keep on growing as an artist and producer, well, put in the hours. Put in the time. Be alone with that stuff.
Yeah. Because I notice also when we make music that you quickly feel, oh yeah, I want this sound, and then you get it and it's there. Like, it's like you hear it and you know how to get it.
Well, if you can do that, if you can execute what you, like, if you can realize what you hear or want to hear, that's already a big step. Same for artists. You know, you can sing that note and you sing it like that, and then,
Yeah,
or
the
rap
flows or the
flow in a rap flow, and you rap this way, and it's just like that's it. Then
you got it. Yeah.
then you got it.
Who are your inspirations, or were, or are?
One of the funny things is when I was a kid, I used to nap in my living room. My mother would play Enya. You know Enya? Sail away, sail away, sail away. And I remember those strings in there. I heard those plucks, and I was like a kid. I was like, what the fuck? I remember very well. I was like looking at there, like, who is this? What is this? These sounds are so wavy and dreamy. And what is this? So already there, I had a very big love for pads and B and stuff, and strings and harmonies. So that's already a very big inspiration for me. Enya, which we maybe would say no, but that's true. Then of course Timbaland. Timbaland, I was listening to his stuff before knowing it was from Timbaland. Because I was listening to Jay-Z, I was listening to Justin Timberlake's things, and I didn't know who was Timbaland. Until I knew who he was, I was like, oh my god, this makes sense. This guy gets the biggest bounce. Raps also, sings also.
Yeah.
Is like very dynamic, comes with different samples than everybody else. Records his own wooden chest things like. Did you see those movies, videos about Timbaland in the studio?
No.
It comes like he has an assistant, and she made these big ass wooden cases, like wooden, almost closets.
Yeah.
And he would just be like with his hands just on this closet, like he puts the mic on it. You listen to it. He's like, all that. Starts with his mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so unique. Very interesting for me. And then of course Kanye West. And you can say whatever you want about Kanye, like is he crazy, he's not crazy, I don't care. The guy's a genius. The way he was, like, have you seen the documentary about Kanye West? Because he literally ran into Rockefeller with a speaker, and he was
playing
like,
his tape.
listen to my music, motherfuckers. Wow.
That was crazy. And they saw him as a beat maker then, and he was like, no,
exactly,
I'm an artist.
Exactly, and that's the same. That's the same what happened to me. I was like, I love making beats, I love producing, but stop saying like you're a beat maker, you're a producer. I'm an artist. Producers are artists. Beat makers are artists. Everybody's an artist in his life.
But you want to also be a performing artist.
Yeah, you just want to bring your tracks. You want to release. You want to do things. You know, like I was very long time putting myself behind the scenes because I was like, this is my position as a producer. I shouldn't be in the spotlight. I shouldn't be this. I should be that. And I'm not saying that. Oh, now I want to be in the spotlight. No, it's just like now I'm doing me, and I got fans now. I got a base of a community of people who are with me, and they accept what I'm doing, and they will tell me if they don't like shit, and I like it because that gives me feedback. But I'm doing me, and that's the big difference.
Tell me about your rhythm, because you have a special kind of work rhythm, eh? You're not a day worker.
I mean that I live in the night.
You do 9 to 5, but then in the night.
I mean, it's like there are articles scientifically explaining that the night person exists, like that you're naturally born as a night person. It is possible. Like it is possible. It's in your DNA. It's in different things. That's already one thing that I've learned. But also, like for me, it's about the focus. It's about the rest, the peace. I get so inspired in the night. I get so active in the night. I want to run. I want to do things.
That's
and then during the day, like this, I love this. Yes, I go to the gym, usually after the studio time, when my whole head is like, woo, everything is out there. The body got it. The tempo needs to move.
Like 3 at night. Boom.
Get the fuck out there. You know, like, okay, nice, you're in the studio, you make music, that's good. But then move your ass to the gym or get outside and run. Because if you want to be the next day again in your studio, the muscle needs to move, you know? The machine needs to get the oil. And that's when I go outside. But I just love working in the night. I just love being inspired in the night. Already as a kid too, I used to study for my exams in the nights. Not sleep. Go straight to the exam. Yeah. And then sleep in the afternoon. So yeah, I mean it's polyphasic sleeping.
What is that?
You have mono, you have bi, and then you have poly. And polyphasic sleeping means you sleep multiple times a day. Yeah. So I sleep like 3 hours and a half, 2 hours and a half, and 1 hour and a half.
Really?
Or 1 hour and a half. Yeah.
Oh, every day, like
not every day, not consistently.
It depends.
It depends, you know.
So it's irregular in a way.
Like last night we went to a club in Antwerp and stuff, so I couldn't just come home and say I'm going to sleep 3 hours and wake up. No, I slept 6 hours, 7 maybe, 6.5. But the thing is, as when you're born as a baby, you're a polyphasic sleeper, right? Babies sleep polyphasic. We as humans are not made to sleep 8 hours or 7 hours. There's a reason why if you look at our REM sleep, REM sleep, that's so short and different things. Like your sleep is not made for being long sleeping. It's made to go deep in a certain good
like
way.
An hour and a half is one phase.
Because I sleep when I'm tired. Like I'm really tired. I listen to my body. But I'm not going to force myself to sleep. And of course, it's true. Again, 9 to 5, you have to wake up at 8 and you got to be on your job at 9. Yeah, you got to go to bed. But how many people are awake in their bed? Like it's 11, I have to sleep because I got to wake up. Because you're not a monophasic sleeper. It's not. We are not like that. Elon Musk, Obama, look up who is a polyphasic sleeper. You will be like, what the fuck? A lot of managers, a lot of people with a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
Because doctors, pilots.
Maybe even all the ones that can choose their own rhythm. That's also an
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the thing. I can do this.
Yeah.
But again, that's why I became also independent because I am like that, like it's me. And some people are like, yeah, you always live in the night and day you should wake up early and just start your day early. But bro, when you're waking up early, I already did my shit. I already did what I wanted to do in the morning. So I wake up like 11ish or 12, 11:30. When I go to bed at 4, so I sleep, 6 hours, 4 hours. Sometimes I'm waking up at 8 also, like fuck, I'm already, let's go outside, boom, take Nacho the dog, walk with him. It's just my body telling me, Like when I go to the gym and I come home and I'm super fucking exhausted, why would I force myself to go in the studio and make music? I'll be like this. So I would be forcing myself to work on something 2 hours, tired, while if I take a quick nap and I go back, in 10 minutes I can finish the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm focused. I got the rest. So yeah.
Nice, man.
Thank you.
What else do you want to share with the world? What do you want to say?
I mean, I enjoyed this interview. What I want to share with the world, well, you just gotta enjoy the process, Look around every now and then because before you know, it's over. So enjoy what you're doing. Do what you love what you do.
Follow the gut, keep it going.
Follow the gut, keep it going. Stay consistent.
Commitment.
Commit yourself to the purpose of what you're doing here. Why are you here? Because we're not that long here, Before you know, you're out. So enjoy and do some crazy stuff.
Just saying.
Just saying.